All right, gang, today we are going to do Bob Seger's Rock and Roll Never Forgets. Great mid-70s tune, Drew Abbott on the guitar. It's got a great intro, really a classic intro. The chords are pretty cool, or I should say the rhythm. It's a straight boogie, except with a tiny twist in it. And then the solos are actually pretty neat because they float between major and minor pentatonic and really have some classic licks in them. So that's coming up in just a second. I'm going to do this one James style. If you're listening, buddy, I'm a fan. All right, so we'll do the demo in just a second, and then we'll do the lesson. If you like this, please subscribe to the channel, and you'll get a couple of these every single week. All right, so here comes the demo, and then we'll do the lesson right afterward. This video is brought to you by Songstitute. They're an online platform that brings music students and teachers together all across the globe. As a student, you can look around for the teacher of your choice, book a Skype lesson, simple as that. They handle all the billing, everything else. I currently teach on Songstitute as well, and I'd love to see you there. So why don't you check them out? I look forward to our lesson. All right, gang. Well, let's go over this song now. Cool song. I'm going to cover the intro, then I'll cover basically all the rhythm parts, and then I'll cover the lead part. At the very end, I will cover the outro solo, what I did. I didn't transcribe it exactly. I just played it sort of in a Drew Abbott manner. So in the style of Drew Abbott, but the middle solo part, that's actually note for note. So we'll do it that way. Let's cover the intro. Intro is the coolest thing, I think. I just love it. I'm surprised it's not copied way more often because it's a great alternative to the Chuck Berry lick. It goes a little bit like this. This is in E, by the way. And then it does that again. All right, so let's think about, how do you think about this opening? It's a really cool opening. I like it a lot. How do you think about it? Well, here's how I think about it. Think about playing a D in the open position. Yeah, I know it's in E. I said D. Okay, so think about playing that D, and then just on the first three strings. So if you play it on the first three strings, you have this. And I'll bring it up 2 frets, and you've got an E. Okay, so that's an E, but the D form of the E. Now don't play the top string, and you've got this. And you'll recognize that as... Now if you slide into it, that's the opening. All right, now we're going to play an A, but only on the second and third strings. And then a little E power chord. All right, so that's the opening right there. That's it. Like I said, I'm surprised it's not used more often or ripped off more often or whatever you want to say, because it is a great alternative to the Chuck Berry lick, and yet I don't hear people playing it, myself included. So I'm going to try and rip it off more often. Okay, let's go to the chords itself. Now this is basically an E boogie, but it's got an F sharp thrown in, and usually that F sharp is of a slight minor flavor, but we're always going to try and play, or almost always just going to play the power chord, okay? So that is the bottom 2 strings or the bottom 3 strings, either one's fine. Okay, so it goes like this. I'll start out with F sharp, and again, when you do a full one, you want it to usually be that F minor. There's one exception, I'll tell it to you later, at least right now. In the verse, the chorus, and most of this song, you always want that to be an F sharp minor or the power chord. Okay, so let's start it out. So F sharp minor to an E boogie. F sharp minor to an E boogie. Now an A boogie, E boogie. A boogie, E. A, E. B, F sharp power, F sharp minor, B, E. That's pretty straightforward. You know, when you're playing that boogie, sometimes you can go up to the 4th string second if you want. That sounds pretty good. Drew Abbott does it once or twice in the song, so you could copy him. What the heck? He was a good player. Is a good player. I think he's still living. All right, so that's it. We'll play 2 of those verses, and that's great. And then the next time we come back to the "You Can Come Back, Baby, Rock and Roll Never Forgets," and that's kind of like this. You can come back, baby, rock and roll never forgets. Okay, so now the next part goes like this. It's like the band is, I can't remember the words exactly. The band's up playing it loud and lean. Listen to the guitar player making it scream. All you got to do is make that scene tonight, hey, tonight. All right, so it's that part. And it goes from A to E a couple of times. I guess 3. Make that scene tonight. Hey, tonight. So it'd stay on the B an extra time on that one. And then it goes to the solo. That's it for the solo, actually. And that's the only place where if you're going to play the full chord, you want to play an F sharp major, because the solo uses an F sharp major pentatonic. We'll cover the solo in just a second or two. And that's the only place if you want to play that. But I would err on the side of just playing a power chord on that one. And then there's no, it all just fits really well. So the solo is 2 of those. You go F sharp to E, F sharp to E. All right, and then you go to our famous, now famous, we're going to go to from the A to the E 3 times. All the Chuck children are out there playing those licks. Get into your fix. You can come back, baby. Rock and roll never forgets. Now he does it 3 times, right? Come back, baby. Rock and roll never forgets. And come back, baby. Rock and roll never forgets. All right, and that's just F sharp to B to E on those. Okay? And then, of course, then it does the intro again. Never forgets, and then it just kind of goes in the fade out with the horns and stuff. Never forget, oh yeah. Never forgets, ah. And it just fades, going from E to A to E to A to E to A, and that's the end of the song. Okay. So now let's do the regular solo. The regular solo is actually pretty cool, and it goes from an F sharp to an E twice. And here is the solo. We're going to start up here on the 13th fret of the 3rd string, and we'll play the following. Here we go. Okay, so what I want to show you is, if you don't already know it yet, the major pentatonic position. Now I'm going to show it to you in E, and then I'll show you what happens in the solos. We're going F sharp to E, F sharp to E, in that pattern. So the pattern is basically in E, we're going to start out on 12 and go 12, 9, 12, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9. And then we never use it in this one, but we could go 11, 9, and 12, 9. All right, so that could be it. Now in F sharp, it's just going to be up 2 frets, so it's going to be like this. All right, so the beginning is like this, and it's kind of country. Remember, it goes F sharp to E twice. So on the F sharp, we're going to think about that F sharp minor or major pentatonic position, where there's my F sharp on the 1st string, 14th fret. And I'm going to play this. I'm going to play on the 3rd string, 13th fret, pull up a whole step, and then reach up and play that 14th fret on the 1st string. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 14 on the 3rd string, and slide it up to 16, and then play 16 on the 1st string. So 3rd string and 1st string, these are called sixths if you haven't encountered them before. You skip the 2nd string. It goes like this. and that's over the E chord. So far we've gone 1 F sharp to E. Now again, on the F sharp, we're going to think in that same F sharp major pentatonic, and we're going to play. So what that is, now on the second and third strings, I'm going to play 13 and 14 on the 13 on the third, 14 on the second, and I'm going to bend up that 13 a whole step and bring it back down. And then play this. And now I'm going to shift down 2 to play the E, right? The E major pentatonic. This is just F sharp to E major pentatonic, and so I'm just shifting the scales a little bit. So this is like this, and then I'm going to take on the 11th on the third string, bend that up a whole step, and then I'm going to, on the 12th on the second, play this, and then play this. So putting that all together, it sounds like this. And give it lots of vibrato at the end. And that's it for the note to note. That's the regular solo. Now at the end, it's just a boogie that's in E, right? So it's like this. So if you listen to what Drew Abbott's doing there at the end, he's playing a bunch of licks that are either in the major pentatonic or the minor pentatonic. I should say E major pentatonic or E minor pentatonic. Now either one works, which is why it sounds kind of cool. He's switching between the two. So let's start out and I'll show you what I did. First, I'm going to take the same sort of thing that we were doing and play these sort of country licks. So that's all I'm doing on that, is playing these major pentatonics. And if you don't know this lick, this idea of on the third holding it up, that's kind of a normal sort of country-ish rock lick. So play it in major pentatonic, play on the third, hold that up, and then play on the first or the second 1 fret up. So that's it. So I'm playing on the 12th on the first and the second, on the 11th on the third, but I'm bending that up a whole step and holding it. Sounds pretty cool. Okay, the other thing that I'm doing here a lot is this. Oops, I'm sorry. And you'll hear that sort of sound when you're switching positions. That's a real convenient one because you're going from the E here on the third string 9th all the way up to the E on the first string 12th, like so. Oops, I'm sorry. And now you can play a lick in the minor pentatonic, which is kind of neat, right? Because you're setting yourself up for that. All right, so what are some licks I played in the minor pentatonic? Well, here's one that I played. All right, so that's a fun one. It's a fun one to play over and over and over and over and over for hours and hours. Okay, maybe not hours, but you can play that one for a long time, as Drew Abbott does in this one. So what is this? This is kind of a variant of the Chuck Berry. People like Jimmy Page used to play it all the time, Clapton, everybody does it. So all we're doing here is I'm taking the third string 14th fret, bending that up a whole step, and then play 12-12 on the first two, and then play on the second string 15, pull off to 12. Right? And then I'm just going to do it again and do it again and then do it again and do it again. So slowly it sounds like this. So play that nice and slow, do it as many times, get it down, and then start to speed it up. All right. Anyway, it's a fun lick to do. The next lick is I lifted this from Drew Abbott himself. I don't hear this too much from other folks, but it's a good one. So it's this one. Love that one. 14th on the third. Let's bend that up a whole step. Pull it down, and then pull it off to 12 and play 14 on the fourth. And then here's what we're going to do to end it. We're going to play a double stop lick. We'll play 14, 14, and then 14 on, so we'll play 14, 14 on the second and third, and then play on the fourth, 14, and then play 12, 12, and kind of give it some nice vibrato. Combine it, it sounds like this. Really a cool sound. And then you can shift it down and play the major pentatonic. So I played a couple of minor pentatonics and then played the major on that one. Another lick that I did was simply this. That's really super simple. It's 14th, bending that up, and then playing a double stop on the 12, 12 on the first two strings. Really easy. I also played this one a lot. So this is E minor pentatonic position. I'm playing 15 pull off to 12 on the first, and then 14 pull off to 12 on the first, and then on the second string I'm playing 15 pull off to 12. Again, putting that together, it sounds like this. All right, and then at the very end, I couldn't resist the old Freebird lick. All right, but Drew didn't do that one. Seemed to fit though, didn't it? All right, gang, well there you go. Rock and Roll Never Forgets, Drew Abbott on guitar. Really cool. I love that opening riff. It's really a classic. Doesn't get enough credit, really doesn't. And then of course the solos, chock full of just cool and easy to use and really useful licks. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you on down the road.